Hello, all you beautiful houseplanters. Welcome back to Millennial Planter. I'm Marina if you're new here, and on this channel I talk about all houseplant things, both the good and the ugly side. In today's video, I am talking about plants that are shockingly fast growing, pretty much my fastest growing plants, and some of them are the more like commercially uncommon side. So I'm really shocked that they're doing so well in my environment. But before we get into the video, I would love to know what plants are growing really well in your environment, what plants just shock you because they're doing so well and growing so fast. I would just love to know. I love hearing from you guys. And so if you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button and stuck around. So let's get on into the video. First, we have this beautiful, massive Daphumbakia camouflage, and actually it's not really this tall. I kind of have it propped up on a plant stand, but just look at this thing. It's massive. The leaves are literally the size of my arm, and this one is constantly, and when I say constantly putting out a new leaf. He will spit out one leaf and then have the new leaf immediately there, so the new leaf wouldn't even completely harden off. And I feel like that's the case with pretty much all Daphumbakia. They all grow extremely fast, at least in my environment. I have 3 different ones and they're all just always putting out new leaves. It's really incredible. So if you have an environment where it's fairly humid, because they do like a bit of humidity, and you want a fast growing plant, I really suggest giving Dumcane a try. They are just such prolific growers. They're amazing. They're actually one of my favorite genuses. I have a whole care video called All Things Daphumbakia. I'll leave the link down below if you want some care tips with them. But yeah, just look at this guy. And I can't wait to put him back outside in the summertime. I'm low-key kind of nervous too because he currently is my biggest plant. And you see him now, so just imagine this growing season, which is literally like a month away, and just how big he's gonna get, especially being outside. These guys just love the sunlight. So really excited, but also kind of nervous because if he gets taller, I really don't know what I'm gonna do with him. Next, we have good old Philodendron Mexicanum. I purchased this one off of the Victoria in Atlanta sometime last year. I want to say maybe last summer, and this one, let me tell you, he is one that is always putting out a new leaf. You can even see a new little leaf there forming. I am currently trying to give him some more brighter light so that we can get some big leaves again, because as you can see, his leaves have gotten a bit smaller because I did have it in a lower light situation. But even in a lower light situation, look at this. Like, he is just being so prolific. They are crawlers. I've noticed. I tried to get it to climb the moss pole, but he's just going out and will be spilling over this pot soon. So that's exciting, but also, once again, nerve-wracking, because what am I gonna do with you? This baby just takes up so much like space. Once again, a really easygoing philodendron. I originally purchased this philodendron as an adult, so it wasn't really small when I got it. It was already pretty massive. I feel like more established plants are generally more easygoing, but this one, I feel like I don't even need to water it that often. She's not particularly thirsty, and she just does amazing. And with the more sunlight I give her, the more purple-ish kind of her leaves are gonna get. I can't really even show you, but the backs of the leaves kind of look almost painted. They have light purple-esque to them, so hopefully the next few leaves will be bigger and the backs will be a little bit darker, but definitely one of my favorites. I love the shape. I love the lobes. It's a classic. Now, the next one is no stranger to this channel, Philodendron Pastasanam. Honestly, this plant is just one of my top favorite plants that I've ever owned. And can you see why she just rewards me with these big, beautiful, pillowy leaves. They're just getting bigger and bigger. She's really low maintenance. I let her completely dry out pretty much. I don't have her in a special area. She's just out in my living room living her best life. And I purchased this from Ecuagenera. It had maybe 3 or 4 leaves. She still actually has some of those original leaves. This is one of them, so you can see how small that is. And in a matter of maybe a year or less, she's gotten this massive leaf, and now she's putting out 2 new leaves. So you can see right there and right there. This one is actually already starting to come out. So basically, she's growing from both sides. Pastasanams are also crawlers, so basically that just means they crawl along the floor. So eventually she is going to crawl out of this pot, and I've seen some people have them kind of like tied up, and then they're just kind of just growing, which is really cool. Kind of something that I want to try to do, but I might end up cutting her too, because this side here is reaching the end of the pot. So the next leaf is definitely going to be overpouring. Anyways, I'm so excited to see what this new leaf looks like. I'm really hoping it's as big, if not bigger than this leaf, because this is just such a beautiful, pillowy, philodendron heart-shaped leaf, you know what I'm saying? My friend Sarah over at the Rainy Jungle on Instagram just purchased a really big pastasanam, and those leaves are literally probably 2 times the size of any person, and I just can't wait to get this one like that, because wow, you guys, wow, such a stunner. Such a stunner. It's crazy how big these leaves can actually get and how pillowy they are. I really wish I could just like crawl up in there and go to sleep, because they look very comfortable. Another really sexy philodendron. I feel like these guys are kind of more easier to find nowadays, so definitely just keep your eyes open, check Facebook, check Ecuagenera. When I got this, the foliage wasn't the best looking, but the plant was really healthy otherwise. Acclimated to my house really well, and as you can see, she is just thriving. Now, the next plant I'm gonna share is definitely more of a common plant, at least here in my area, but they are particularly finicky genus of plant, but it's none other than the beautiful velvety Maranta lemon lime. And just look at how massive this thing has gotten. She does have a couple of crispy leaves just because I've missed a couple waterings, but she's fairly easy going for me. As you can see, all her leaves are kind of tilted down at the moment just because it's daylight, and that's what their leaves do. They turn down in the daytime and they go up at night, which is why they're called prayer plants. When I first got this plant, I definitely was a little nervous because everybody always just talks about how difficult they are, and they are a little bit on the diva side, and basically they just don't like to dry out at all, and they do require a little bit humidity. The humidity in my house is about 50 degrees on a good day. It could dip to like the 40s. So that seems to be keeping her really happy. I have her in a glazed terracotta pot, so she's not drying out super fast. And like I said, I don't let her dry out ever. So with all of those care requirements being met, she's just pushing out new growth all the time. I mean, right now, I think I can see 3 new unfurlies, 3 new fruit roll-ups on her. There's 2 right there. I hope you can even see that. But the newest leaf she shot out looked like it was going to be huge. So yeah, she's just doing really well. I would love to have just a really long trailing one. I love the fact that I put it in a macrame even, because these guys do trail, and it's just really beautiful to have a lush, hanging, folding, moving plant, you know? So yeah, Maranta lemon lime. I would love to know in the comments, is this a plant that you struggle with? Is this a plant that you have? Is this a plant like not even on the radar because of all of the rumors you've heard about it? Honestly, don't let that ever keep you from a plant. If you really want it, just give it a try, because that's what I did. I just gave it a shot, and look at how well it's doing for me. The next plant on my list is the string of hearts. So as you can see, this gal just goes on and on and on. And I actually have her on pretty much the top of my shelf, and she literally just reached the floor. And I just recently cut her back because, you know, like, she's not doing the best. I kind of let her get too dry, but it's okay. I think she's on the up and up. I have a whole bunch of propagations going of them right now, and I'm just gonna add it to the top and get this thing really lush and full, which is something I'm always trying to get with my plants. But this string of hearts, I'm telling you, you guys, is my fastest growing trailing plant. And it's amazing. I give her a lot of light. She's pretty much almost directly underneath my grow light. And I do a little test where I see the leaves. If the leaves feel kind of paper thin and you can fold them really easily, then that's when I water her. And if they're nice and plump and succulent like, then I don't water her. And I know she's good, but I think the whole sunlight is definitely a key in growing these things really fast. I've had similar experiences. I have the variegated string of hearts, and I have the heartless daggers, the string of daggers, and they both all grow well. I would say the variegated string of hearts grows a little bit slower, but that kind of just makes sense because they have a lot of white in them, not a lot of chlorophyll. But for the plant, for not having a lot of chlorophyll, it grows pretty well. So there's just my little 2 cents. And yeah, I think this is also another classic that everybody needs. This is one of my favorite trailing plants because it's literally a string of hearts. Like, how precious is this? So pretty. So now, for the sake of time, I'm just gonna share 2 more plants. And this next plant is really gonna shock you all because it still shocks me, but it's none other than this beautiful Anthurium Doryaki. So as you can see, this lighter leaf here is the newest leaf, and it's getting massive, and I'm so excited. I'm shocked at how big this is even getting. I know this plant is more commercially hard to find, and I don't really see a lot of people with well-established Doryakis or just Doryakis with big leaves. So I'm shocked that this leaf is getting so big. I know this Anthurium particularly is meant to stay more compact, so I'm just really excited to see how big this leaf will get and what the next leaf will look like. But she's always constantly throwing out new leaves. She had more leaves than this even. I went away for 2 weeks and she didn't really fare well. I had to cut off 3 or 4 leaves. So that was sad, but she's still just such a stunning plant. I hope you can see those glitter flecks, you guys, because literally this is one of my favorite Anthurium. I even occasionally let her dry out more than she probably likes, and she's still rewarding me with so much new growth. And yeah, I think I might even get this little heart leaf tattooed because I need to remember this leaf and this plant for the rest of my life, if you know what I'm saying. Maybe that's a little weird, but I just love this. They're the perfect little cute heart-shaped anthuriums, and the fact that she's an anthurium and she grows so well is just, you know. The last plant that I'm going to share is another philodendron, and it's none other than the Philodendron Florida Ghost. I am quite shocked with this plant. I feel like philodendrons just in general do really well in my care. Thankfully, I mean, I still struggle with some. I am currently re-propagating my Burl Marks Fantasy because I pretty much murdered that plant. I don't want to talk about it. But the Florida Ghost, her leaves are getting massive. I actually just chopped her too. I shared her with a friend, and she's already putting out new growth, you guys. There's a tiny little nubbin of new growth right there. And y'all, I literally cut her, I think not even a week ago. It's been almost a full week, and she already has new growth. Like, what is the sorcery of this plant? And I think another thing that just makes me really proud of this plant is that I imported her. I've imported twice in my life. The first time went horribly wrong. I lost all the plants within 2 weeks, and it was just really devastating. and really sad. This was my second import, and as you can see, it did so well for me. It acclimated amazingly. It's growing really well. The leaves are getting really big. The 2 leaves that I cut off were even bigger, so it's so exciting. And I've been messing around with the whole lighting situation because a lot of people say to get your leaves whiter, you're going to need to give them more light, and that seems to be true. I have put this closer to my grow light, and the new leaves did come out a lot more white than that creamy color it used to be. So that's really cool. And then over time, they just fade into this sort of mint color, and then eventually they fade down into this green color. The petioles are like a pinkish reddish color, which is beautiful. So yeah, really easygoing plants. This is another plant I have a question about. If you have a Philodendron Florida Ghost, how does it grow for you? I've heard mixed reviews. I did that same import with a friend, and she said hers is still really small and not growing that fast. So definitely let me know in the comments how your Florida Ghost is growing. I don't know if this one is just some sort of like mutant one, but it's just, yeah, it's been really easy growing for me. And just another philodendron I treat the same. I let it dry out pretty much all the way, and it is just in the relative humidity of my living room. So if you're looking for these plants, I mean, I would suggest it if your environments are kind of similar, and just give it a try because they're really so rewarding. And when you see that new white leaf, you just can't stop staring at it. So yeah, there we have a beautiful Philodendron Florida Ghost. And that's it, houseplanters. Those are some of my most shocking houseplants that are growing really well. I don't know if you were surprised by any. I know I'm still surprised by some of them. I hope you all enjoyed this video. And like I said in the beginning, I would love to hear what sort of plants are growing really fast for you right now. And you guys, winter is almost over. We have less than a month to spring, less than a month for growing season. I can't wait to bring some of my plants outside and watch them thrive, especially my Hoya. I'm going through another kick with Hoya, and I want to buy more Hoya, and I can't buy more Hoya, so please stop me. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you all in my next video. As always, I hope you all are staying safe, sane, and healthy, and have a wonderful week, weekend, month, and year. Bye.